Hello everyone. Today we are going to share about economic risk. Definition of economic risk. Economic risk is referred to as the risk exposure of an investment made in a foreign country due to changes in the business condition or adverse effect of macroeconomic factors. Now, let's take a look on the factors of economic risk. The first factor is unemployment. High unemployment levels mean that countries will need to increase their benefit spending, placing more pressure on the national budget. Second factor is cyber attacks. Entire economies are put at risk due to the costs necessary to investigate breaches, as well as the decreased productivity for affected entities. The next factor is failure of national governance. There may be significant risks to the economy and society at large for countries that can successfully manage public affairs and resources. Last but not least, fiscal crisis. A drastic drop in economic activity where a country owes more money than it generates through tax revenue.
Now, let's move to the types of economic risk. The first one is sovereign risk. This is a risk that government cannot repay debt and default on its payment, whereas the government is unable to make timely payments, misses payments, or avoids or stops making payments on interest or principal owed. For example, bankruptcy of financial system, bankruptcy of social security funds, and occurrence of disasters. The second type of economic risk is unexpected swing in exchange rate or exchange rate risk. This risk happens if market moves drastically to impact the exchange rate, as for the example is the oil price, or news that can cause a fall in demand or change in inflation or even interest. The final type of economic risk is the credit risk. It is a risk that the counterparty will default in making obligation it owes. It is out of control since it depends on the creditworthiness of the entity. What is credit crunch? A credit crunch is a decline in lending activity by financial institutions due to the sudden shortage of funds. It is often becoming the extension of recession, and this happens due to the threat of bankruptcies or defaults by borrowers resulting in higher rates. The cause of credit crunch is where the lenders are lenient or tolerant in offering the credit, but giving advance credit for the borrowers with questionable ability to repay the debt. This causes bad debt and default rate to rise. The consequences of the credit crunch are: first is the prolonged recession and slow recovery of economy. Next is lenders may increase interest rates to earn more revenues. The last one is where the businesses fail to acquire funds that become a trouble to expand their business.
Thank you for listening to our presentation.